Hello, dear children. So, today we are going to do the chapter Mother's Day from Snapshots, which is written by J.B. Priestley. About the author, John Boynton Priestley Ohm was an English novelist, playwright, screenwriter, broadcaster, and social commentator. His Yorkshire background is reflected in much of his fiction, notably in The Good Companions, which first brought him to wide public notice. Introduction to the chapter. Mother's Day is a play by J.B. Priestley. It is a satirical and humorous depiction of the status of women, in particular, a housewife in a family. Believe me, dear children, after going through this chapter, you will definitely, this chapter will make you realize the position of your mother in your home, how much importance you give your mother, and how much you realize she do things for you selflessly. Moreover, a housewife dedicates all her time in the service of a family, but her family takes her service for granted and never take notice of her needs. The family never acknowledge her services or thank her for all that she does for them. Everyone neglects her, and this issue is prominent and relevant today. Many houses out there sulk and suffer in silence. Also, the issue the play raises is genuine. The issue can't be set by mere changes of the personality of husbands, sons, and daughters. In order to give wives the praise they deserve, the family needs to give them the desired attention. So here's the summary of the chapter. Mother's Day, a play by J.B. Priestley, portraying the status of a mother in a household. Priestley humorously explores the story when Mrs. Pearson, in her 40s, stands up for her rights and how her family reacts at this. Mrs. Pearson is very fond of her family and works day and night to support her family member in the best possible manner. However, she is upset at the way she is being treated. Nobody cares for her or asks about her. All day long, she stays at home doing all the work, and nobody in her house bothers to just ask her, acknowledge her, praise her. They all are busy in their lives and they expect a lot from her. In the evening, when the kids and her husband returned, she gave through herself in meeting their demands. She did not want any dislikable thing to happen in her household, yet she craved for their attention and a little respect. So many of you can relate with this drama, the condition in your house also. She went to her neighbor, Mrs. Fitzgerald, a fortune teller and a magician. Older and heavy, Mrs. Fitzgerald comes with a plan. She proposed that they could exchange bodies, that means exchanging of the bodies, and then with Miss Pearson's body, she would teach a lesson to Pearson's family that Mrs. Pearson could not herself do, for she was too much humble and nice to do that. So she knew this art, but she has never done before, but she assured her that it will work, and she also told her that it will not last long, but it will long enough for what they both want to do. Though reluctant, uh, at first Mrs. Pearson was not ready to do it, but later she agreed to. Mrs. Pearson agreed to the idea, and the two exchanged their bodies. So now Mrs. Fitzgerald became Mrs. Pearson, and Mrs. Pearson became Mrs. Fitzgerald. Mrs. Pearson was still not sure and asked Miss Fitzgerald if she could get her body back. However, determined, Fitzgerald tells Pearson to not worry and that she would handle the matter carefully. She left for Pearson's home with Mrs. Pearson's body. Now their personality, their bodies changed. She entered the home and knew what she was to do to teach Pearsons a lesson so they would not bother Mrs. Pearson in future unnecessarily. Mrs. Pearson, that is Mrs. Fitzgerald's soul, She smoked a cigarette and was confident than ever. Mrs. Original Miss Fitzgerald, she never smoked and drank, but Mrs. Fitzgerald, she used to. The scene changes, and now Mrs. Pearson is in her home, and Doris enters. Doris is Mrs. Pearson's daughter in her 20s. She hands her a dress and asks her to iron as she has to go on a date with her boyfriend, Charlie Spence. Also, she even objects her mother's smoking because her mother never used to smoke, and she was really amazed to see the changed personality of her mother. So she asked her mother not to smoke because this is the way she used to behave with her mother, was asking her all asking her to do her work, asking or just being bossy with her mother. So this was the way she used to act. And when she asks her, Mrs. Pearson replies very harshly and advises her to do her work herself. So she asked when she asked to iron the dress for her as she has to go on a date. She very harshly told her to do her work on her own. Not only that, further she makes fun of her boyfriend. Not only this, she makes fun of her boyfriend that what kind of fellow you have chosen. You could have got better one. Doris feels miserable and shamed and starts crying when her mother insults and rebukes her. After this, her son Cyril enters, asks his mother hurriedly if his tea is ready, on which Mrs. Pearson refuses and advises him to prepare it himself. So she has come with the motive of just changing their thought, changing their perception about mother, about a woman. So she was doing that. She just wanted to teach them a lesson. So when he asked whether his tea is ready or not, she straight away said, "Go and prepare yourself," as she has not prepared the tea. After seeing her mother reaction and her sister crying, he raises his voice. So he just asks his mother what is she doing, why is she behaving like this. Also calls Mrs. Fitzgerald an old hag, on which Mrs. Pearson instructs him to mind his language. The children could not baffle the situation because they could not just analyze why the things are going on like this. When the mother left to fetch the stout is whiskey, the children discussed their mother's behavior. Doris felt that it might have been the mother got her head hit. So she thought that might be mother has fallen somewhere and got her head hit. That's why she is behaving in such a weird way. Then enters mother with a bottle of stout and a glass half filled with it. So all this thing is very very strange for the children because they have never seen their mother smoking and drinking. The children began to laugh and the mother chided them and asked them to behave like grown-ups. So she asked them, "You always talk about that you people are grown up." So she asked them to behave like that. Doris then asked her mother for her such behavior and if they had done something wrong. So Doris, she was really really shocked to see her mother like this. So just she surprised and shocked, and then she asked her mother why is she behaving in such a way, what they have done. Then Mrs. Pearson tells them that it is actually the children's and her husband's behavior that has disturbed her. So she said, just because of your behavior, I am behaving in such a. So she told what's the reason behind it. They always come and go without bothering about it. So every day after coming from out, they used to have their snacks and tea, and again, all of them used to go out of the house. None of them bothered to ask mother whether she wants to go out of the house or not, whether she wants to spend time outside the house or not, how she should enjoy her weekends, how she should enjoy her evening. Nobody, never they used to bother to take her mother out with them. See, it happens in most of the families. We take our mother for granted. We just think that it's her duty to cook food for us, to serve food for us, and we hardly bother. We don't even think to just say up thanks to our mother. What we do, see, many a times I have seen on Mother's Day, people just clicking the pictures and posting on the social media to show that how much they love their mother. But what about the days? Uh, when there is no Mother Day, the other days, the normal days. On Mother's Day, everyone, the most of the people, they are just posting the pictures with their mother and some good quotations. Our mom is our world and all that such things, but they never bother to give that respect and love to the mother. They never even bother to say thank you. Just hug her and say thank you for her selfless service which she does for us. No, think about it. The ones who do, it's really good. You should keep on doing that, because mothers, they work 24 into 7, right? So let's continue now. They demand duties from her, and she does her best to keep everyone happy, and still nobody is bothered about her. What her likes are, what her dislikes are, whether she really wants to cook a particular evening or not, whether she is ill, whether she's fine, she has to make food for the children, for her husband, right? So she remarks that while the three of them do a job of 40 hours a week, with 2 days as weekend, she goes on working 7 days round the clock. No Sundays for her, no Saturdays for her, right? She also tells them that, like them, she too is going to take weekend now. Now she tells them, like you, I'm also going to take the weekends off. Now Saturday, Sunday, I won't work. I will go out and spend time with the people, with friends, in whichever way she wants to. She proclaimed that she would do some work. So she said if they really want her to do some work, she can do some work on Saturdays and Sunday, only if she is thanked for everything. So she said if they will be polite to her, and if they really will be thankful to her for doing the job, then only she will work on Saturdays and Sunday. When the mother scolded Doris and Cyril, duly entered George Pearson. George Pearson is Mrs. Pearson's husband and is annoyed at her wife sipping stout. So when he sees his wife drinking wine, he is really, really angry on her. He told her that he would have supper at the club as there was special snooker match and that he did not want tea. So he just informed her that he would not have his dinner at home because there is a special snooker match at the club, and he would have the supper there, and he will also have the tea there. The wife told him that there was no tea. So she told him, when he said that, she told her that as such the tea was not ready. As such, the tea was not ready for. She hasn't made tea for him because Mrs. Original Pearson, she used to make tea for him, but she has changed Mrs. Pearson. She hasn't made tea for him. He got annoyed, and the wife then said that when he did not want tea, then why was he fighting for it? So he really got annoyed. Why she hasn't prepared the tea? Just look at it. How foolish of him. He should be happy that the tea is not ready as he is not going to have it. But he started fighting with her that why she hasn't ready the tea before his coming. So she said, why unnecessarily you are fighting when you don't want to have the tea? Mrs. Pearson is flabbergasted at such conduct of his wife. Flabbergasted means he is astonished, extremely surprised at this answer of his wife. The wife continues to rebuke the husband, telling him that why he goes to club when he is a matter of joke among all there. So she just told him that why do you go to that club? You are a matter of laughter for everyone. Everyone there makes fun of you. She also told him that the people at the club call him Pompey Ompy Pearson. Pompey Ompy means very slow and lazy fellow. He is stunned and demanded the truth from his son because Mr. Pearson was not knowing this before. So he thought that his wife is lying, and he just wanted to know this truth from his son because his son used to accompany him many a times. He used to accompany him to the club. Cyril got upset at his mother, yet told the father that it was the truth. He really got upset with his mother that why she has told this thing to father, but she said the people should know the truth, what is going behind the back. Then knocks Mrs. Fitzgerald. Seeing her, Cyril remarks her as old, stupid, on which Mrs. Pearson asks her not to say such things about her, as she is a nice woman and much more sensible than him. So when she heard a knock, and when Cyril went to see that who was there at the door, He found Mrs. Fitzgerald and he started telling that she is an old stupid woman. See both the thing. If he was saying to the the new Mrs. Fitzgerald, then she is her mother, and he's talking about, because according to Cyril, he doesn't know that the one is standing at the door is his mother. So if he is giving such remark, that means he is indirectly telling about Mrs. Fitzgerald only. So she says not. She gets annoyed at that, and she said not to say such things because she is a very nice and a very sensible woman. Then enters Mrs. Fitzgerald, actually Mrs. Pearson. Mrs. Pearson, actually Mrs. Fitzgerald, told her that she was just putting everyone at place and that the things were all right. So she came and in front of her, she rebuked the three members of her family. That is Mr. Pearson, Doris, and Cyril. When she sees that condition, anyhow, she is mother, she is wife. So she got just disturbed, and now she wanted her body back. She said now she wants to get back to the normal bodies now. But she said that she's putting everything uh, at right, and now the things will be all right. Mrs. Pearson requested to have her body, and then Mrs. Pearson, on a condition that Pearson would not go soft on her family again, she, both of them, they exchanged their bodies. But she took that you will never put your foot down, that you will never give up. You will, as she has taught them a lesson, and now they are on the Pearsons on the right path. So she just took an assurance that she will keep them on the right track always. They got into their original bodies, and Mrs. Fitzgerald left. The mother and the children and husband smiled at each other, and it was decided that they all will have the dinner together and play a game of rummy. Before playing rummy, she asked the children to get supper ready while she had a talk with their father. So, so the title is given Mother's Day because on that very day they realized the importance of mother. What a mother. See, when the personality exchanged, when they were rebuked by Mrs. Fitzgerald, then they came to know that what their mother was to them, what she used to do for them, how nice and humble lady she was. That day, the children, they realized the importance of mother. Mr. Pearson realized the importance of his wife. So, after this chapter, it's my request to all of you, just go to your mother, hug her, and just say a big thank you to her. She really deserves respect, all your respect, love, care, everything. Her service, she never asks you for any money for giving the service. It's selfless service. She never asks anything in return, no monetary thing, no materialistic thing. Just she want is that you should appreciate her efforts. You should appreciate her, you should respect her, you should love her. So here is the character sketch of Mrs. Pearson, Mrs. Fitzgerald. Cyril, please kindly go through this. And with this, we come to the end of the chapter. Please, my request to you all, read the chapter. Go through the chapter, go through each and every line, and if you fail to understand any line, any word, feel free to ask me. But don't go through the summary only. Have a great day. Bye bye.